Hey guys, welcome to the review show. My name's Austin. Blue Beetle stars Zolo Marquezine. Man, I hope I said his name right. I spent like a good 5 minutes pronouncing his name. Reyes suddenly finds himself in possession of an ancient relic called the Scarab. It gives him unpredictable powers, forever changing his destiny as becomes the superhero Blue Beetle. Zolo Reyes. I'm saying that right. I hope I'm saying it right. Zolo Reyes. Zolo Reyes. Zolo
Marquezine.
Zolo Marquezine. I'm just gonna go with that. Hope I'm not trying to insult or anything. I'm hoping I say his name right. I mean, like, but you know what? He does great. He is great in the film. I honestly was not expecting that much from Blue Beetle. The DCEU is in like a weird state right now. It's in like limbo land or whatever territory right at this moment. The DCEU has been in a decline for the past 5 years. The last really good film, I don't know if Aquaman came out after Shazam or it came out before. The first Shazam I really enjoyed. So I'm gonna say after the first Shazam movie, everything else was just either god awful or it was okay, like The Flash. I don't love The Flash, but there's things in that movie I enjoyed and I thought was okay. But this is better than The Flash. This is this shows how the DCU can work, and not everything has to be dark. Even though I like my dark stuff, like Man of Steel, one of my favorite DC movies of all time. Like, I love that film, and people criticize how dark it is. But I like that film because it takes a different take of Superman, and it was well portrayed. And so not every film has to feel the same, and that's kind of the problem that you got with the Zack Snyder's movies. They all felt the same. They all had the same tone, which is not a bad thing. But when you have somebody like Aquaman or Wonder Woman, they ain't supposed to be dark. They're supposed to be like bright and beautiful and all that. And especially The Flash, even though each story, but they do have their own dark stories. But it's also good to have that bright spark like Shazam and the first Aquaman that we got, which was a lot of fun. And this Blue Beetle remind me a lot of those type of stuff, that the fun and the energy that the DCU can have. George Lopez is fucking funny as hell in this movie. He is like one of my favorite side characters, comic relief characters in this film. Like, he does a great job. Like there's this cool family dynamic in the film that really builds up to like a family message, and does way better than anything that Fast and the Furious can do about family, and that's their whole entire thing. Like, this is like the first movie or whatever. Blue Beetle's technically going to be in the reboot DC universe, but I don't know if the story's going to continue over. That's kind of like another thing. I think it's just the character. If the story continues over, that would be neat, because there's things I really liked about the story in here and how he became Blue Beetle. Like, he was a kid that just got out of college. He is basically in debt, which they make a couple of jokes at, and it was funny and all of that. And next, he just all of a sudden becomes a super, gets these powers. He has this suit, has this relic thing that's embedded in him. It's freaking, and honestly, when he is freaking first time coming to this realization, the suit, this alien tech is binding with him, it turns sort of in a horror film kind of way. Play more of a dark comedy type of horror, because it's it's weird and creepy how the thing forms around him. It's gross, and so I really like that scene. And they also played it for laughs, which George Lopez really did well in it. And Zolo Mare, he portrayed Blue Beetle in a good way, in a very fun way, and this heartfelt kid who is basically just trying to find a job. And next, Bruna Marquezine. I'm gonna have a hard time with these names. She kind of comes along and sort of messes up his life, kind of, and basically everything's her fault what goes down in the film. And she had a good interaction with the characters and basically being a part of the family in some way. And it was really cool to see her also, sort of break down how this thing works. She is basically like, she's basically there for the audience to explain, like, okay, so this is how the Blue Beetle works. Even though that we kind of sort of like see how the Blue Beetle works, like the actual alien itself works, and we kind of understand by visually. But she's also there to explain some techie stuff like that. And besides that, she kind of is like useless. I mean, like there's a family message with her as well. She has some relationship with her dad, who has like a past with the relic technology, and she kind of like, and I wish they went somewhere with that. Like her dad, because her dad was part of this company that is now run by somebody else who is evil, really fucking evil, like like very comic evil, which works for the film. I'll say that, because it is a comic movie after all. And I wish that maybe since he had this technology, like he built up the company and all that, I wish he sort of taught her something, because when it comes to the fighting later on, the family gets involved, and I was like, I don't like this. I get what you're going with, and I get you're trying to have a family movie message, but this is really fucking stupid. It doesn't make any sense, because the suit doesn't, because James Reyes, I'm going to call him James Reyes because I'm going to have trouble trying to say the actor's name. James Reyes, who is played by said name I don't know how to say, he doesn't suddenly know how to fight or anything, because superhero movie, it's like, oh yeah, I'm suddenly good at this without any training. The suit actually helps him get him out of situations, and even talks him through some stuff, which was really cool. And I like that. It's like, okay, that's a cool detail. And he kind of learns some moves on his own, and so it kind of works in that way where you get the kid from Cobra Kai, even though it's a show that I think is overrated, but I think he was great in that. And so bring his skills over. He could probably do most of his stunts on his own. Easy that, boom, done type of deal. And so it was really cool to have that built, and even have a sort of suit relationship with the suit, because it's a living being. And there's some arcs later on in the film. There's a lot of good stuff, and the fucking trailers. I don't know what's up with trailers this year. There's a lot of movies I wasn't expecting to be good because of the trailers, and I go in actually fucking surprised. Gran Turismo is one that's recently surprised me. I saw a early screening of that, and reviews up on the channel, if anything, if you guys want to go check that out. But the one thing that I said in that review is that the trailers were fucking awful for Gran Turismo, and I came out surprised with how good it was. And the same thing happened here. And yeah, I heard a little bit good things about the film before it came out and I saw it, and that kind of made me feel a little bit better. But again, the trailers did not help this at all. The marketing did not help this movie at all. The marketing, if anything, reminded me a lot of Cobra Kai, because you had the main title of the movie, Blue Beetle. It was basically in the shape form of the Cobra Kai name, and I was like, you're just making me think of other stuff instead of trying to do your own thing. And now the movie does do its own thing, and it has its own style. You have this hub thing when he puts on the suit, and it's sort of like a bug type of feel to it, where the hub is a little bubbly. I don't know how to really describe it. More of you can looks like a beehive type of thing is the best way I can describe it. It's kind of cool. And the CGI honestly really holds up, so that's another big plus. And so, yeah, there are a lot of great positives for this movie. That there is my gripes where the family gets involved. The movie does feel messy at times and very, very silly. This is a huge silly, and that's kind of where the family parts come in. But a lot of stuff does save it. The action saves it. I really enjoyed this one scene where it's in a tunnel underground. It's very isolated, so you get these really up and close encounter scenes with Jaime Reyes' character and just beating people's ass. It's really good. And there's one tragic scene at some point in the film that brings, you know, the family together. It's like, that's like, this is what the DC needs, and something to bring audience back. And the problem is, with this film, it's gonna have a struggle making money. This movie is gonna flop. It's gonna flop really hard. And I hope that they look at the reviews and they see the response from the reviews, and don't look at the box office numbers. I'm gonna give Blue Beetle a B-. Go check it out. It's out in theaters right now. It was a ton of fun. A lot better than I thought it was gonna be. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and like always, I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye guys.